It is 8 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. I'm heading up into New York again, Letchworth State Park. Got about 4 hours of riding. Several years ago I ran into a motorcyclist while I was riding through New York, and he talked about the Grand Canyon of the East being a great place to ride a motorcycle. And it was north of my route because I was on my Four Corners tour and I was in southern New York, so I didn't want to go out of my way. But then one of my children mentioned that they had been to Letchworth State Park, which is where that canyon is. So I decided on the way back, based on advice of a couple different people, that I will visit it. Certainly looks intriguing. I was able to snag the very last campsite, so I had no choice in the matter in terms of where my campsite is, but at least I was able to get one for this Friday in July. The ranger at the park station recommended this little area here for restaurants and what have you. I'd already bought my dinner, so I didn't do it, but she was very proud of this little town. I'm going to work my way around the eastern edge of Lake Erie as I work my way back up into New York. It's quite a little tourist town. Geneva on the Lake. Wow. Only 8 o'clock in the morning here, so it's kind of quiet right now, but based on all the boot shops and what have you, it's pretty busy during a summer day. There's Lake Erie. Gives you a sense for the size of it. Can't see the other side. Big lake. Headed east on Route 531, still in Ohio. What a grand morning it is. I actually have a couple layers on this morning because it was fairly chilly last night. Time to say goodbye to Ohio and hello to Pennsylvania. It is just a little bit before 9 o'clock. Small town, USA. Be one of 1,000 towns across the country. And when you're in them, it's really hard to tell the difference. This is the Girard Borough. I am making a slow slog through Erie, Pennsylvania. A lot of stop and go lights on Route 20, still headed east. Saying goodbye to Pennsylvania and hello to the Empire State, New York. It is 10:15. Currently one of New York's oldest vineyards. Just outside the village of Westfield, New York. This is definitely grape growing country. I have passed field after field of grapes. Passed in the town of Portland, and their claim is that they are the home of Marmaduke. Brad Anderson, cartoonist and creator of Marmaduke, was born in 1924, passed away in 2015. He grew up in Portland, New York, graduated from Brockton Central School in 1942. So there's the artist. Pretty good sculpture. I'm off at 20. I'm on 88 in Chautauqua County. I have finally peeled away from Lake Erie, behind me now. I got to the eastern end of it. scenery's pretty. The roads aren't in terribly good shape. I am in the middle of nowhere. Garmin is just dragging me through these back country roads. Got nothing to say other than I just passed 2,500 miles on this trip. And I still have another 54 to go today. Just me and the farmers out here. Well, the good news is there's hardly any stop signs. The bad news is there's like nowhere to pull off. I need to get off and stretch my legs, but it's all private residences. State Park is this away. Looks like it's part of it over there. Alright, this is a 700 loop. And second from the end. That's a nice sight. I came in here at the Perry entrance. I'm at High Banks tent site, loop 700. So I came in, went south. I'm headed north. I'm here right now. I go up to the Gardeau overlook. There's a bunch of picnic areas. Pass by. But I do want to see Lower Falls, Middle Falls, and Upper Falls. So that's where I'm headed next. Then I'll turn around and somewhere in this direction, which would be east, there is a restaurant I may go for dinner that's not too far away from the campground. That's the plan, at least. Beautiful park. This section of road reminds me of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Minimal traffic, some twists and turns and elevation changes, and lots of trees. The Gardeau overlook. Those are the Upper Falls. And they went all the way south. Now I'm going to start my way back north to see the three falls. These are the Middle Falls. This is Inspiration Point Overlook. headed to Lower Falls. There we go, Lower Falls. So after a 20-minute walk, pretty warm and humid temperatures, I made it to Lower Falls. Don't have quite the good view as the upper and middle falls, but it's still pretty. I have a little climbing to do to get up out of this canyon. And then I'm going to see if I can go find myself something to eat. Bend overlook. I missed this. I was coming in the other direction. All right, it's past 5:30. I am getting hungry. Let's see if I can find something to eat. There's my trusty bike. Never lets me down. All right, that's dinner. Charcoal Corral. Here we are back at High Banks. It's full tonight. Got all the big RVs, and then you got my little tent's here somewhere. There it is. Hello, it's a Saturday morning, a little after 8 o'clock. I am leaving Letchworth State Park. I'm going to be heading south through the park, so I hope to do that ride that I did yesterday, which had a few twists and turns to it. It was a very pretty ride. They're forecasting severe thunderstorms later on today or into the evening, but it's spotty, so I'm just going to have to keep my eye open for that. Right now the skies look great. Temperatures in the mid-60s. Kind of humid, but it's still fairly comfortable. Nice quiet night's sleep, and looking forward to today's ride. I'm not sure exactly where I'm staying tonight. I gotta kind of look at the weather once I get into a spot where I've got better connectivity with my phone. The nicest state park I've been to in New York. It's a very large park, a fair amount of things to see, and the campground was nice. And it's well maintained, so it's definitely a place to visit if you're ever in the state of New York on the western side of the state. So the water actually flows from the south to the north here, and the dry area is actually where the dam, and I guess it's obvious looking at the way it's constructed, the dam is to stop the water. Here, going north, protects all the towns north of here, going all the way up to Rochester, New York, and into Lake Ontario. So the dam is usually open to water passing through, and they only close it when there's worried about flooding to the north. Okay, it's time to get back on the bike and make some miles, heading east towards Connecticut. I may ride over to the dam. Apparently there's a visitor center there. It's a little hard to believe it'll be open this early in the morning. But I got a little extra time today, so why not? Do a little detour. Tour of the dam. For daily. 7 miles. And from the lookout over here too. So this would be cool. Morris Dam. Visitor Center doesn't open until 10. So we can get at least a look. That's where I was over there 10, 15 minutes ago. This area used to get hit about every 7 years. The valley would flood. And they said Tropical Storm Agnes in 1972, it stopped an estimated $210 million in flood damages around the Rochester metropolitan area. But you can see it's flowing up here. Over here is the city of Rochester, which is right next to Lake Ontario. Lots of farm equipment, some small like that one, and some massive ones that I've been passing. Corning, New York. It's the downtown area over there. Corning is the world headquarters for Corning Glass, and I may stop somewhere up here shortly for lunch. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to go all the way home today. I wasn't really planning on it. I was planning on camping again, but the weather report for tonight and tomorrow is for fairly heavy storms passing through, potential flooding, and something I really don't want to get involved with if I can avoid it. So still got a long way to ride to get home if I decide to do that, especially if I stay off the expressways. Probably 6 or 8 hours of riding. If I do it on the expressway, I could probably do it in 4 or 5. So I'm going to have to make a decision around lunchtime in terms of what I'm going to do. I've been to Corning before in the Corning Glass Works. The Corning Museum of Glass is quite good. It's got historical glass and lots of explanations. They have active furnaces with demonstrations. It's quite a museum complex, and it's well worth visiting. Based on the weather report, I am going to try to stretch to get home today. It's in the afternoon. I have 267 miles to go. Make that 266 miles. Estimated times, if I stay up the interstate, is 6 hours. State Road 17C, and Interstate 86 is to my south as I head east. It's quite a big river up here. It's over 93 degrees. So change of plans. Much as I dislike it, I'm going to get on the highway. It's going to save a couple hours of time. Getting hammered by rain here. Hopefully it doesn't last long. All my equipment is out. I don't think it's going to last very long. It's going to be a race against the storms. Look at the radar and the forecast, and they're going to come right across my path here. I don't know whether I'll beat them or not. I'm still in New York. Got a ways to go, but I'm getting there. Back into my home state of Connecticut. It's been a great ride. I avoided the rain today. I think it's time for a little recap of what I've seen over the last several weeks of travel.